Most people are pawns in a ruthless, invisible game of power, blindly following rules that keep them weak, exploited, and perpetually one step behind. In the next 25 minutes, you'll transform from a trusting, well-meaning pushover into a strategic master who commands respect, controls outcomes, and bends any situation to your will, using Niccolò Machiavelli's darkest, most potent secrets, backed by centuries of psychological research on dominance, influence, and human behavior. If you've ever felt used, overlooked, or utterly powerless in your career, relationships, or social circles despite doing everything right, this changes everything. Buckle up, because today you'll learn how to stop playing fair, rewrite the rules, and start winning the hidden game of power that's been running your life. Let's get real for a moment. Have you ever poured your heart and soul into being fair? Staying late to help a co-worker meet a deadline, compromising endlessly in a relationship to keep the peace, or standing by a friend through their drama, only to be stabbed in the back without a second thought? Picture this. You've worked overtime on a critical project, giving it your all, only to watch a slick colleague swoop in and take credit in front of the boss. Or maybe you've been the loyal partner, always putting their needs first, only to find they've walked away when a better option appeared. It's a gut punch, isn't it? That sinking, burning feeling in your chest when you realize your kindness, your fairness, your commitment to doing the right thing was weaponized against you. You're not alone in this. Society has drilled into us from childhood that fairness is the ultimate virtue, that playing by the rules, being the bigger person, and putting others first will earn you respect, love, and success. Think about it. Every Disney movie, every school teacher, every inspirational quote on social media screams, "Be kind, be honest, and good things will come." But here's the brutal truth. In the real world, fairness is a trap, a one-way ticket to being used and discarded. Those who thrive, the ones snagging promotions, commanding loyalty, or effortlessly drawing admiration, aren't playing nice. They're playing smart, ruthlessly exploiting the unspoken rules of power you were never taught. It's not that you lack talent, effort, or heart. You're losing because you're fighting with one hand tied behind your back, conditioned to prioritize everyone else's gain while they prioritize their own. If you're sitting there, nodding, feeling the sting of those late nights wondering why your sacrifices aren't paying off, why the opportunists always seem to leapfrog over you, you're investing in the right place. This isn't about personal failure or some inherent flaw in you. It's about systemic blindness, a societal setup that leaves good-hearted people like you vulnerable to those who know how to wield power. Stick with me, because we're about to rip off that blindfold, arm you with Machiavelli's darkest tools, and flip the script from victim to victor. Let's anchor this in something unshakable. Enter Niccolò Machiavelli, the 16th century Italian strategist whose seminal work, The Prince, didn't just redefine politics, it exposed the raw, unfiltered mechanics of power that govern every human interaction, from boardrooms to bedrooms to barroom conversations. His insights aren't dusty history, they're a playbook for today, backed by modern psychological research like Robert Cialdini's Influence, the Psychology of Persuasion, which details how people are swayed by perceived authority, and Stanley Milgram's experiments on obedience, which reveal how humans instinctively defer to strategic strength. The core truth: power isn't about brute force or loud aggression, it's about perception, strategy, and impeccable timing. Universal patterns of human behavior that Machiavelli codified centuries ago. Women and men alike are drawn to those who project control, scarcity, and calculated intent, not those who blindly follow the fairness script. This isn't about becoming a heartless villain. It's about understanding the primal, often ruthless undercurrents that drive decisions, alliances, and success. We'll break this down into 3 crystal-clear levels to make it actionable. First, recognition. Learning to spot the subtle, ruthless tactics others use to outmaneuver you in plain sight. Second, protection. Building ironclad defenses to shield yourself from manipulation, betrayal, or being sidelined. Third, mastery, wielding these principles with precision to dominate any arena, ethically and effectively. This isn't abstract philosophy or motivational fluff. It's a practical, step-by-step system you can deploy today in your next meeting, date, or social interaction to shift the power dynamics decisively in your favor. Are you ready to see the world as it really is, not the fairy tale you've been sold? Let's dive into the game and start winning. Let's peel back the curtain and expose the mechanism driving this game. Machiavelli wrote in The Prince, "Men are so simple and so much inclined to obey immediate needs that a deceiver will never lack victims for his deceptions." Brutal but true. Most people are predictable, driven by short-term emotions, fear, desire, ego, making them easy targets for those who understand power's underbelly. The psychological principle at play is the contrast effect, backed by Nobel Prize-winning economist Daniel Kahneman's research on decision-making. People assign higher value to what seems scarce, exclusive, or superior, not what's readily available or overly accommodating. Your fairness, always saying yes to requests, over-delivering on tasks, or avoiding conflict to keep the peace, makes you a commodity, not a prize. You're the reliable employee, the supportive friend, the safe partner, but not the one commanding respect or attention. Let's ground this in a real-world case study. Meet Sarah, a 34-year-old manager I coached. She was the ultimate team player, covering shifts, taking on extra work, and staying late to ensure her team's success, all in the name of fairness. The result? Her colleagues got promoted while she was labeled reliable but not leadership material in performance reviews. The aha moment hit when she realized her selflessness signaled weakness to those playing for power. She was too available, too predictable. Historically, look at Machiavelli's patron, Cesare Borgia, a ruthless Renaissance leader who thrived by projecting strength and unpredictability while others underestimated him, only to be outplayed. Now, look at your own life. Ever notice how the co-worker who speaks less in meetings but strategically takes credit for ideas gets the corner office? Or how the friend who's always too busy to help gets more invitations than the one who's always there? It's not random chance. It's calculated ruthlessness, exploiting human psychology. Most people fall into this trap because we're conditioned to equate fairness with morality, taught that self-sacrifice is noble. But power rewards those who create leverage, who make others work for their time and approval. Pause for a pattern interrupt. Are you starting to see how your play nice habits, agreeing to every favor, avoiding confrontation, or over-explaining yourself, are quietly costing you influence, respect, and opportunities? That's the recognition shift, the moment you start seeing the invisible chessboard of power everyone else is playing on. Once you spot these patterns, you can't unsee them, and that's your first step toward rewriting the game. Recognition is power, but it's useless without action. Let's build your fortress to protect against the ruthless players out there. Protection starts with real-time awareness. Train yourself to spot subtle power plays, like a colleague's backhanded compliment designed to undermine you in a meeting. Nice work, but it could have been tighter. Or a partner's guilt trip to control your decisions. If you cared, you'd do this for me. These aren't accidents. They're calculated moves to test your boundaries. To counter them, adopt Machiavelli's deflection tactic. Never react emotionally to provocations, as emotions signal weakness. Instead, redirect the energy. Here's a script for the workplace. If a colleague questions your work publicly, don't get defensive. Say calmly, "That's an interesting perspective. Let's dive into the data and see who's actually driving results here." This neutralizes their attack, keeps you composed, and shifts the spotlight back onto them. Behaviorally, protect your most valuable asset, your time and attention, by enforcing scarcity. Stop saying yes to every request like it's a reflex. Instead, practice selective availability. If someone asks for a favor, respond, "I'll check my schedule and get back to you," even if you're free. Psychological backing. A 2018 study in the Journal of Applied Psychology found that people who appear less available are perceived as higher status and more valuable. If you're dealing with manipulators, like a coworker who takes credit for your ideas, create an undeniable paper trail. After contributing to a project, send a concise email to your boss summarizing your work. Just confirming I finalized the analytics for the Q3 report. It's subtle but locks in your credit. Against emotional manipulation like guilt or flattery, use Machiavelli's mirror tactic. Reflect their behavior back without escalating. If a friend guilt-trips you for not helping with their latest crisis, say, "I've noticed you only reach out when you need something. What's going on with that?" This flips the pressure, forcing them to justify themselves. The moment you apply these strategies, you'll see immediate shifts. People stop testing your boundaries, start respecting your time, and treat you as a force rather than a resource. Try this today. In your next interaction, delay agreeing to a non-urgent request or use a deflection script when someone tries to push your buttons. Watch how their tone changes. They'll start chasing your approval instead of taking you for granted. Pattern interrupt. What if I told you that protecting yourself this way doesn't make you cold or selfish? It makes you magnetic, commanding respect naturally? By guarding your power, you're setting the stage for true influence, not just survival. Now we ascend to the summit, where you stop merely surviving the game and start rewriting its rules. Mastery means flipping power dynamics entirely, making others orbit around you like planets around a star. Start with strategic ambiguity, a Machiavellian cornerstone. Appear cooperative and approachable, but keep your true intentions veiled. In a negotiation, for example, don't lay all your cards on the table. Instead, say, "I'm open to exploring options, but it has to align with my priorities. What's your best offer?" This keeps you in control, forces others to reveal their hand first, and positions you as the decider. Next, master psychological leverage through calculated alliances. Instead of spreading your help evenly like a fair person would, identify key players in your sphere, your boss, a romantic partner, an influential friend, and offer them something uniquely valuable, like a critical insight or exclusive support. Social psychology research by Adam Grant in Give and Take shows that selective generosity, helping the right people at the right time, creates loyalty and influence far more than blanket kindness. To dominate any arena, cultivate outcome independence. Act as if you don't need others' approval or resources. In a workplace, don't beg for a raise. Present a concise case for your value. My work drove a 20% increase in sales this quarter, and let your boss come to you. In relationships, don't chase validation. Set clear standards and let others rise to meet them. For example, if a partner pushes for more of your time, say, "I value our connection, but I'm focused on balancing my goals. Let's find a way that works for both." Unlike the masses scrambling for scraps of validation, you're the rare one who seems untouchable yet approachable, a paradox that draws people in. Historical anchor. Machiavelli survived the cutthroat courts of Renaissance Italy by being indispensable yet unpredictable, offering value to allies while keeping rivals guessing. Apply this, and you become the one others seek to impress, the one whose approval carries weight. Separate yourself from everyone else by internalizing this. Power isn't loud domination or petty cruelty. It's quiet, surgical control that reshapes dynamics without a raised voice. Pattern interrupt. Imagine walking into a room, work, a date, a party, and feeling the energy shift because you're the one who holds the power, not because you demand it, but because you embody it. What if this one mindset shift could make you the person everyone wants on their side? That's mastery, ruthless, ethical, and magnetic, commanding respect with every move. Let's make this concrete with actionable scenarios that show the stark contrast between the old you and the new you. Scenario 1. Workplace power grab. Old you. You share your brilliant ideas freely in team meetings, hoping for recognition, only to see a colleague claim credit or the boss gloss over your contribution. New you. Present your idea strategically. Drop a teaser in the meeting. I've got a concept brewing that could boost conversions. I'll share details soon. Then pitch it directly to the decision maker in a private email or one-on-one. Here's my plan to increase Q4 revenue by 15%. Outcome. You're credited as the visionary, your boss sees you as a leader, and colleagues start seeking your input to align with your influence. Scenario 2. Relationships. Old you. You avoid conflict at all costs, agreeing to unreasonable demands to keep the peace, but it erodes your respect over time. New you. When faced with a partner's demand, like insisting you cancel plans for them, use a deflection script. I hear how important this is to you, but let's find a solution that respects both our priorities. This sets a boundary calmly, and over time your partner values your strength, leading to a deeper, more balanced connection rooted in mutual respect. Scenario 3. Social dynamics, like a group outing or networking event. Old you. You're the nice one, always accommodating, chatting with everyone, but you fade into the background, ignored or forgotten. New you. Enter with deliberate presence. Dress one notch sharper than the crowd. Share a bold but concise opinion on a topic, then excuse yourself early. Great catching up, but I've got another commitment to hit. This creates intrigue. Where's he off to? And suddenly you're getting invites to exclusive events or follow-up messages. Apply one of these tactics today. Delay agreeing to a non-urgent favor, use a deflection script in a tense moment, or exit a social interaction early to create scarcity. Track the response. You'll see immediate shifts. People start respecting your time, seeking your approval, or treating you as the leader in the dynamic. This isn't theoretical. It's a transformation you can feel, from being the one who chases to the one who's chased, from follower to the one setting the pace. Before we close, let's address the weight of this knowledge. These tools are a double-edged sword, powerful enough to reshape your career, relationships, and social standing, but dangerous if wielded without care. I'm sharing this as a shield, to protect your goals, your dignity, and your future, not as a weapon to harm, exploit, or tear others down. You're now part of an elite minority, the small percentage who see through the facade of fairness and navigate the real game of power with clarity and precision. Ethically, use this to build stronger, more authentic relationships, to advance your career without stepping on others, and to create a life where you're respected for your strength, not pitied for your sacrifices. Machiavelli himself warned that unchecked power breeds enemies. Wield this ruthlessly but responsibly, with a focus on creating value and lifting those around you. Do this, and you'll not only protect yourself from the traps that ensnare the naive, but also become a beacon of influence, the one others look to for guidance. You're no longer a victim of the game, you're its enlightened architect. Take a deep breath and feel the shift. You're not the same person who hit play on this video. You're now the strategist who sees the hidden chessboard of power, sidestepping traps with ease and commanding outcomes with quiet confidence. The world that once used your fairness against you, leaving you drained and overlooked. You own it now, dictating terms on your own turf. To take this further, check my next video on Machiavelli's secrets to unbreakable influence, where we dive deeper into commanding any room. We'll end with this timeless Machiavelli quote to sear it into your mind. Whoever wishes to be obeyed must know how to command. Go forth into your day, ruthless, protected, and utterly unstoppable, ready to shape your world with precision and power.